well, good morning, Mrs. Burnett and Mr. Zanartu, and good morning, Coyotes. Welcome to Friday Flag. Today is Friday, February 10th, and speaking of Mr. Zanartu, we appreciate all that you do on our Cole Canyon campus. This week has been Counselor Appreciation Week, and I hope each of you had a chance to thank Mr. Zanartu for his support on our campus. We love you, dude. And like every Friday Flag video, let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, shall we? Go ahead and please rise. Eyes on the flag. Hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Guys and girls, we are doing a great job following all the playground rules and working together to enjoy this space. We are still seeing some students bringing toys, Pokemon cards, loom bracelets, and other things to school. Please leave these at home. We do not want these prized items to be lost or damaged. The only exception is when a teacher has asked you to bring something to school for an organized activity or a specific share time. And thank you for striving to be a Coyote hero each day and in and outside of your classroom, no matter where you are on campus. Find ways to be helpful, encouraging, respectful, and outstanding. We know you can do it. Students, if you have a good joke to tell, remember you can record that on the flipgrid.com/cckind. And who knows, maybe you will find your joke featured on one of our Friday Flag videos. Today we have a joke from Azalea from Miss Calvillo Murray's second grade class. Take it away, Azalea.
Hi, my name is Azalea Galvan, and I'm in Mrs. Calvillo Murray's class second grade. Today I would like to share you a joke. What did the kitten say on Valentine's Day? You're perfect.
That's very good, Azalea. Cute joke there, and very timely. Okay, now we have Mr. Zanartu for our Mindset Minute. So pay attention to him, please.
Hi, Coyotes. I hope your week was a good one. Today, I want to talk to you about an important skill that you can learn and use throughout your life. And that skill is walking away. Sometimes you might find yourself in situations where you feel unhappy, unsafe, treated unfairly. When this happens, it can be really tough. But you do have a superpower that can help you. It's your ability to choose. You can choose to walk away from things or people that don't make you feel good. This might mean leaving a game that isn't fun anymore, saying goodbye to a friend who's mean to you. Walking away can feel scary, but doing it shows that you are strong, brave, and that you know what's best for you. And you know what the best part is? Walking away from those negative situations, you open up the door to new and exciting experiences, friends, and opportunities in your life. And as a matter of fact, it's also, if we're feeling upset, a great time to practice our ability to calm down, taking a deep breath and using that positive self-talk that you hear Mr. Zanartu talking so much about. So remember, if something or someone does not make you feel happy, it's okay to walk away. And always remember, you are special, you are loved, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who bring you joy. With something to think about, this is your school counselor, Mr. Zanartu. Have a great week, everyone. And at this point, let's hand it over to Mrs. Burnett for Howley's Heroes.
Thank you, Mr. Zanartu. Great message. All right, boys and girls, for Howley's Heroes, remember these are students who are really modeling how to be helpful, encouraging, respectful, and outstanding. So let's take a look at this week's heroes. In kindergarten, in Mrs. Miller's class, we have Kelly and Addie. In Miss Eisinger's class, Josiah and Lexi. In Mrs. Amkraut's class, Ariel. And in Mrs. Gorton's class, Abby. In first grade, in Miss Moorhead's class, we have Anastasia. In Mrs. Schaad's class, we have Emma. Mrs. Espinoza's class, Landon and Mila. In Mrs. Stringer's class, Joshua. Mrs. Franz's class, Aaliyah. And in Mrs. Murray's class, Hadley. And in second grade, in Mrs. Calvillo Murray's class, we have Finley. In Miss Garrity's class, Elijah. Mrs. Teresa's class, Logan. Mrs. Manzella's class, Reese. And in third grade, in Mrs. Tope's class, we have Gemma. In Mrs. Hess's class, Elijah. Mrs. Welch's class, Drew. Mrs. Hewittson's class, Galilee. And in Mrs. Levin's class, Angela. Mrs. Hartley's class, Michaela. And in 4th grade, in Mr. Pacey's class, we have Mackenzie. Mrs. Trujillo's class, Trent and Emma. Mrs. Schroeder's class, Lily and Nino. Miss Smith's class, Julian. And in Mrs. Livingston's, we have Manuel. And in 5th grade, in Mrs. Bryan's class, we have Hudson. Mrs. Hamrick's class, Ashley. Mrs. Mirande's class, Logan V. In Mrs. Bethke's class, Max. Miss Getz's class, Grace. And in Mrs. Greenstein's class, we have Cassie. Keep up the great work, Coyotes. We are so proud of you. I'm going to hand it back to Mr. Shaw for the closing thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Burnett. And again, thank you, Mr. Zanartu, both of you, for all you do on this campus. Hey, thank you for tuning in today, all of you out there. We desire that all students strive to be heroes on this campus. Hey, remember, the choice is always yours. And just 2 quick announcements before we go. ELOP basketball signups are up and running, and students in TK through 5 are eligible to participate in those Friday afternoons beginning in March, but the signups are up now. Also, with the President's Weekend upon us, it's worth mentioning that next Friday and the following Monday, our school will be closed. This also means that the next 2 Wednesdays, this one coming up and the one after that, are not early out days. So make sure that you remind your parents and click that on the calendar and say no early out there. That's it. Take care, and everyone have a nice weekend. We'll see you someday soon on our Cole Canyon campus. Take care.